I got memories looking back at some of my earlier trades, and I could never trade like this again. And that is extremely low volatile moves, and how, with microscopic stakes, how you can do much better in the game making mechanisms plays like this. Of course, I like a lot larger percentage gains now. But my first ever trade, Bitcoin US dollar with an exchange, was selling it for 1126.79 for $1.68 worth. And I sold it, I basically exchanged it back for a loss at 1137. Sold it for a gain at 1174. Bought back at 1156. Sold for a gain at 1251. And then bought back at 1233 and 1228. Got a $12.50 move here, which was an okay size bankroll move back then. Really interesting. Sell at 1233, then buy back at 22, 1218, 1214, 1206, 1202. Sell at 1207 for a $5 gain. Buy back at 1180, buy back 1160, sell at 1202. Buy at 1173, sell at 1186. Buy at, and all this is like $2, $1, $3, $9 up here, nothing in big stakes at all. But sell at 1207, buy at 1180, buy at 1160, sell at 1202, buy back at 1173. So you're talking about a differential of 25 points or 2% minus the rake. Sell 1186, buy 1167, sell at 1180. And then this is a loss here, buying at 1251 and then selling it at 1179. But then after such, it would work out to buy at 1164, buy at 1170, buy at 1160, 1152, 1145, 1135, sell at 52, buy at 33, buy at 31, buy at 30, buy at 1100 even, and then sell at 1126, 1130, and 1131. Buy at 1136, and then huge decline to 1050 where I sold. It worked out to be the smart play. 1052, 1053, and then buy at 1022. Buy at 1000. Buy at 951. Sell at 988. Sell at 1000. Buy at 957. Buy 943. Sell 972. Buy 936. Sell 969. And we're still only playing for $2 trades for most of them. But buy 936, it gets up to 980 where I sold. Buy back at 1000. And then I sold a whole bunch here, 980, 87, 972. And then the buybacks, 956, 55, 50, 945. I was putting orders in at like $5 moves, $1 increment from 940 to 939. 935, sell at 956, 61, 63, or 66. Buy back, and this was big, 955, 950, 51, then 45, then 33, 30, down to 25, to 20, to 15, to 10, to 5. This is where you get all the moves. And if you want to say, hey, I bought near the lows here, I kind of did. I don't think the market went much below 890. In fact, I don't even think it hit 885. And then I start selling at 939, 941. 944, 48, 51, 51. Buy back at 930, 926, 922. Sell at 55, sell at the 73, handle the 79, the 84, and then at 1000. Buy back at 76, 75, 72, 71, 63, 61, 57, and we're still doing like $1, $2 trades. Again, you can play small stakes. This is what I love about this. And in some cases, $10 minimum trade, but even still, 971, 985, 1016, 1044 sell. And then look at all these buys from 1034 up to 1123. So I was accumulating, obviously, but it was a smart accumulation. This was dated April the 5th. So I was accumulating late April into late March into early April last year, where I would then sell it on the market. And I had some decent sized buys, a $43 buy. So basically I was just taking the portfolio of base tether that I had And I used it to buy Bitcoin because I realized it was probably going to go up. And obviously I was right if I was selling at 1800, playing now for bigger volatility as we move into April and May, which was the case. I love the this is the evolution of trading. But you sell at 1800 up to 1799. Really weak buyback at 1760, but I got the sell at 1799. Bought more at 1815, realizing, yeah, okay, I guess I sold short, as I call it, meaning lower than where you should. But smart buyback at 1815, realizing my last sales were coming in at 21.44. That was on May the 22nd. Today, I ended up selling at 62.44 and buying at 61.90. It was not even 1%. So it's kind of fitting. That's how it started. But I was looking to make a day trade, and I didn't have much to buy with. I had $80. And this is funny because $80 today isn't really that much of a bankroll size. But it's all I could buy with instantly without deleting any orders on the site at this point. So I made like 100,000 Satoshi on such. It's not much at all. But I think this is just interesting to take a look at the past results. I don't think I could ever do this again. I don't know why I did this in the first place, where I'm looking for like, I moved from like 1207 to 1203. That's a differential of 4 points. 4 on 12 is 33 or 0.33%. I realized I could do that, and I've thought about playing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% moves, which is interesting because I was just thinking about this before I happened to accidentally just click on this page today. But I thought this was pretty cool. And this is what Bitcoin looked like at the early days of trading, as the market had that amazing retracement going back to its highs from several years ago, a little north of the $1,000 handle. And then this big wild retracement where people were calling Bitcoin dead for like the millionth time. Now it's been like 20 million times they've called it dead, or somewhere higher than it was. In fact, there's a website that actually, I can't remember its site, but there's a site out there that keeps posting articles or where they are. But after it had this down move, notice the retracement comes up here in January and corrects it well. Then it has this move up, then a mini retracement. So as this market was breaking out, this was getting to the point here, as the time to get into Bitcoin really started showing around February the 15th for myself. And thus, of course, the entry into Bitcoin. So let's just take a look at how one might trade this using the 18 average of highs, meaning you have significant buy orders in key places and sell orders. You're looking to sell above the 18, buy back below. So in this case here, markets would move. If you having a buy order on the 18 lows on this day was in at 1179. Whether you were able to get it, the 18 average of lows was 1179.50. So you'd probably go about 1180. So this should have been a spot where you could have very easily got in with a buy. And there's a sell spot, 1225. You're well above the 18 average of highs, using this as the example. I've talked about this months and months ago. I was going to say years ago, and it almost seems that way. But so you sell there looking for a sell place at a higher spot or a buyback if it gets a nice retracement. Okay, I guess you sell some more, waiting for a retracement or a higher price. Not quite the retracement I'm looking for. I'm always waiting for 18 lows and a key number lower, but we can see that it's breaking out or looking to. There we go. So now we can consider about buying back. Buy order most likely would have been above this previous level of resistance, somewhere around 1225, which means it probably didn't get hit here. Now manually, I know I can see this after the fact, but if you were selling up here, this is the type of spot where if you're playing to sell above here, if you pass on buying below here, that's where you can see where you can miss out. Until, of course, this day happens. All your buy orders would get hit this day, up down to this level here. You're playing with high volatility, so buying everything 1200, you'd be looking to sell right now Some of it, of course. And if it comes back down to these lows again, what you sold just there, you'd be looking to buy back. So there's your buyback, and maybe a bit more on the lower low. Definitely more on this lower low. And if you bought it like 1168, starting to sell at 1200, no, I want to wait till the 18 lows. And there you go. So there's your sell right now at 1220. And there's your retracement back down. Bear market movement, I probably don't buy until even closer down to this previous low. And there's your closer to the previous low. And I'm not saying this because I know. I'm just saying based on how the market is. Now with the buy or sell, I don't want to sell this until it can get a nice pierce above the 18 lows. As far as the next buy you'd be looking at, oh my goodness, do I have to wait till 1100? Yeah, okay, 1100. And below that, you're looking at going at about 1050. But some of these sells are coming back into play. There's a spot where you can sell from some of this move from in here. So there's another $50 move. And there's another, and all the sell orders that hit here. Literally, how do you not have sell orders? If you're playing the short-term game, of course, which I was talking about. I just want to get better moves than I was getting. But if you have a move, say, at sell order at 1230, then maybe at 12 here. Maybe you don't hit this one, maybe you do. But regardless of the fact, that's what happened. And I knew this happened. But talk about sell order hit or buy order hit. I mean, everything to the 1,000. And depending on, of course, every exchange, it was different. You're playing, I mean, I'd be looking at what the tether, of course, was on Poloniex at the time. And then, so now you can literally start selling at the 18 lows here after buying at 1,000. There's nothing wrong with that. Selling at the 18 lows at, say, 1150 means I'm not going to look to buy until about 1040. And then as it goes up again, you can sell again in the 1200s. It's grinding its way higher, but not enough to sell more. Don't want to buy back what you sold yet. Now you do because of the down move. And maybe buy a bit more. If you sold that, buy more. Again, even if you bought here, it's time to buy again. Definitely buying more. And if you bought down here, you're selling as it hits the 18 highs. And if you didn't sell on the day where it hit the 18 highs on March the 19th, you're selling on March the 20th. Okay, so now, as we can see here, March the 20th, I'm not looking to sell until, like, say, 1100. I'm not looking to buy unless it gets down somewhere below here. So now there's 1100 looking for sell territory. Here's your buyback from the 1100 down to 1046. Maybe you don't want to buy back yet. Probably didn't get that. Buy that was. Now you just buy it. And then you buy some more if it goes down. And there's more as it went down. And then you just sell again as it goes up above this 18. And if you didn't buy back here, and I mean, you could have. 18 lows is a good spot to look to buy at if you sell up here. So there's a spot where that definitely could easily be a buy in here. Then, of course, you sell above here. You notice we're not getting into these failed moves, fast moves. But, I mean, moves like this could happen at any time. The size of this move here was one from 1330 down to, like, say, where does this low go to? 975. So, like, 35%. Well, 35% on 6,000 is 6, 12, 18, 2,000. We're talking about $4,000. It'd be like a $4,000 move from high to low if it were to happen today. But anyway, you're selling at this point. It's maybe selling a bit more on this leg higher. If you didn't, you'd sell on only a small leg higher again. If you sold here, you're at the 18 average of lows. You can buy. And then, of course, because you bought the 18 lows, maybe you consider selling here, but definitely on a push higher. There's your push higher. I sell some more, sure. Now, in this stage here, as we can see, we'd be looking at the retracement going further. That breaking through above here, this thing could obviously go wild. But now we're talking about another sell order up here. And then you're grinding your way higher. So it's just a matter of after so many periods go by, 7, 10, 15, 20, you're just going to have to take a sell order. And then now you can start your buyback, at least for what you sold at 12.19, you're able to buy back at 11.68. And why did this do this? But anyway, you get the point. And I've gotten to come back, and I have fast forwarded it to April the 11th. So if we look at it from today's standpoint, we have a rally, so you would sell. Maybe you sell a bit more. Maybe it's not high enough. If it's not high enough, is that higher enough? Question mark. And then now you would sell some more. You're holding the 18, grinding higher, not enough to sell more. Now you might sell some more. Definitely if you didn't sell more there, you're going to consider it today. And now you're going to start considering buying it back. You're at below the 18 average of lows. How do you not consider? You just do it. I mean, yes, I know it goes lower, but 9,600 you sell, 86. I mean, you buy back at 9,000. And there, now you can start selling again, 9,250. And then you can buy it back here at the, I mean, either here when it hits the 18 lows, 89.77, or after this period here, you can buy it back. And then you can see there's more sell opportunities, much time to sell in here. Definitely on this spike higher if you didn't sell already. At 93.50, you got the 94 and change sale. And there's just some buying back in here. Once this red candle comes in, there's your buyback spot. Not the greatest of sells yet, but now it's getting a bit better each time it grinds higher. There's your selling. Some more selling along the way. There's a bit of buying, a bit more buying. Definitely, if you bought down here, say at 93.10, you didn't sell, of course. Maybe you're buying back at 9100. Of course, we're talking short-term trading. And then definitely buying on this break lower. The question is how many times? I mean, you might even be buying back at previous low at 9,000 if you're able to sell at 92, 93 for sure. Because it barely broke below the 18 at 91.40. So you can even buy there. But then, okay, you're buying again at 89.72. You're buying again at 8,700 and change. You're buying again at 84. You're buying again at 82. Now you sell a little bit on the way up and you're buying it back immediately. Selling it immediately. Buying it back immediately. And then a little bit of selling up here. The buyback, of course. A bunch of buying. That's all we're doing here is buying, it seems. Bit more buying down here. A little small sell opportunity here, but nothing fantastic. And again, this does it. But it seems to have come back now. And there's just tremendous buying that has occurred at the start of June. More buying. Oh, some selling. Oh, some buying back. And as we can see here, you buy at the 58, sell at 62. Sure, why not? And then any selling in here is bought back at the 18 lows and below. So obvious. I mean, if you haven't bought yet from the selling up here from 62.97 in at like 6,100, like why haven't you bought yet? And maybe that'd be the answer, but you just buy more, of course. And then you wait and sell, 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 sell. You do nothing. You don't do anything here because it's totally going sideways from that point. I mean, big push lower, you're buying. Big push higher, you're selling. And there's your sell. And then you wait and maybe, and you know what? Here's a spot. I mean, no reason why you're not buying on the 18 lows break here. You sell up here, and then you see somewhere between 6,500 to like 6,450 you should have been buying. Because that's when it hit the low area. That's when it came back to this key area. But more importantly, there's a retracement amongst this time frame. If you sold again here, which you should have on the buyback, there was the buyback right in here at the end of this completion period. If you're waiting every period, well, this is the one period which it dipped below the 18 lows, but every other one preceding it was nicely above the 18 lows. So there's your buyback. And then a buyback has your selling here. And then your buyback from the selling, clear sell. So spots where you were selling here at like, say, 80 or 6,700, you were buying back before the crash. Although, you could be saying technical analysis here, oh, I want to wait because I see the failed breakout move that's happening. And if you do so, that's using technical analysis to do better within the game. But even just buying before the crash, and when I talk crash for its time frame, or dice move below 18. But selling at 60 up here, buying there. Now, when it goes down here, that means what you were selling, say up in here, that you haven't been like up here, this sell from this move here from July the 2nd, you're buying back now because you were unable to buy it. And if you bought back here and sold, you're just able to get the earlier ones back. Same thing here, another leg lower. So what you were selling up here, say originally, I don't know why it does that. But anyway, it gets to the point where it's at now. And again, is what we can see just as we stand right now. Buybacks here, selling here. Maybe a buyback, but either way, selling in here. If you bought back here, maybe you sold some more here. That's something I like to do, is sell at previous high. But when you're selling up here and you have extended period of time there, definitely the buyback. Extended period of time to sell in here. Extended period of time below the 18. Extended sell time. Definite buying in here. Haven't sold that yet. Definite buying here. You had a chance to sell that. If you didn't sell it, well, I think you got to wait for 63.12 or so, 63.26, and definitely 63.80 is a definite sell spot. And I'd be looking to buy next on a key leg lower. So that's generally the strategy that I like to play, but it all came down to a point. Probably about 2 days, 3 days before that first trade, somewhere around February 19th or February 20th, before I did the trading. I thought, you know what, if you just mathematically play the numbers game as I was showing in there, like buy 1200, sell 1210, and then from there I'm either going to sell 1220 or buy 1200. I was just thinking this in my head. I was running computer simulations. And I think I'm having a little bit of problems with my modem at this time. But it hasn't been too much of a problem right now. Don't know why that's happening. But anyway, I'm not going to just redo this video because it's already darn good. And it's just going to keep happening again anyway. But this is just the strategy in buying below the 18, selling above. Other key way is the legs. So you sell at a certain level. Or play at a certain level, like here. That means you're going to sell here, buy here. So if you go here, that means you now buy here, sell here. And just keep on moving it and so on and so forth as you hit a level. Because that's basically what I came up to in my thoughts. And I'm thinking, that just can't lose in trading in the market. And quite frankly, it has done very well for me, especially when I put different situations of advanced technical analysis in place when I have the opportunity to do so. And those opportunities only come off so often because that means you're able to see a play that exists to give you good returns on an advanced situation. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.